So I hope that was helpful. I hope, maybe it inspires some of you to do more work with time series. Or maybe you just want to, take your own framework. Maybe there's another library you want to study in the same way, right? You're certainly welcome to do that. All right. Any other questions on this? I'm going to look to wrap up the stream here soon. We've already been going for an hour 15. I can't believe that. But I will post a link to MetaProfit in the Discord. This video will be available on YouTube. But yeah, so last call for questions, guys. Any other questions on what we've covered here? Uh-oh, we might have lost everybody during the hyperparameter discussion. But it's been really great to share this with you guys. I'm usually not inspired to share project ideas, but I see a lot of potential in this particular library. You could come up with a ton of different interesting projects to add to your portfolio. And some of these would make great articles for when you're done, right? When you're done, these could be some wonderful articles. All right, last call before we wrap up, guys. Patrick says, this was awesome, extremely helpful, especially hearing about the methodology. Good, I'm glad, Patrick, because yeah, methodology is super important. Super important. I stress that with my younger analysts all the time. Okay, good. So Joseph, I'm glad you found it helpful. Nyan, great, thank you. Rex says, thank you for the inspiration. Great. Okay, so Hamad is asking an important question. What do you think about synthetic data? Chat, let's answer that. What do we think about synthetic data, right? The danger here, Hamad, is that synthetic data isn't always going to fit your real world applications, right? So do you want to use synthetic data 100%? No. Can you use it to supplement? Yes, you can. I'd like to keep that to a minimum, right? Like, just off the top of my head, maybe no more than 10%, right? If you come to me, right, and I'm your chief data scientist, and you tell me you want to use that, you're gonna have to give me some pretty good rationale for why. Like, why would you? And really, the only way I would accept that is if there was some like hard stop on why you couldn't get real world data. Like, I'd rather have you pursue the real world data, even though it's going to be hard, than to supplement with synthetic data. Like, you'd have to come to me with a pretty strong rationale for me to sign off on synthetic data. And even then, I'm still going to tell you like 10% max, right? Nyan says synthetic data is not really ever likely to solve real world business problems. Yeah, that's the danger, right? That's a danger, that you'd be simulating data and training on data that doesn't always happen, right? So yeah, so I'd be careful with that, Hamad. That's the danger zone, as they say, right? Rohan says, thank you for the insight. Yeah. Okay, real quick, I am going to answer just one more question, because Amine is reminding me, can we get back to why we should use a virtual environment, or did I miss it? So Amine, great question. Virtual environments are key because they help you segregate the different projects that you're working on. Why would you want to do that? Because you're going to have different versions of the same libraries that are applicable to multiple projects. So remember earlier we talked about how Profit requires Python 3.7, right? Or maybe you need a specific version of Pandas. Pandas has been changing very, very quickly in the last like 2-3 years, right? Maybe one project requires this version of Pandas and another version of Pandas. I point out 3.7 because Python 3.6 was extremely popular. Python 3.6 was around for a long time, multiple years, right? So maybe you might still have things that run in 3.6 and can only run in 3.6, right? So that's what you should be thinking about virtual environments. They're like individual silos where you can maintain different versions of libraries and they never cross over. So you're never going to, have dependency issues, or, you work on one project but you broke 3 others because you installed a bad version, right? That's what would be happening otherwise. But in a nutshell, that's why you would want to go ahead and use virtual environments, okay? So I hope that helped you. Hamad says, if data is not available, then I can't answer that. There's a lot of questions that pop up when that's available, right? Why is it not available? And if it's not available, then is this a model that you should be creating to begin with, right? Because if you're telling me that it's not available, then I'm thinking, well, then how often is this process used, right? If it's a process that's only used like twice a year for a business, then there may not be the ROI on the model to even have one, right? So I can't answer your question, Hamad. It just depends on the just the use case, right? Like you'd have to tell me a lot more about that, right? All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'm gonna stop here. Join us on the Discord if you have other questions, but I hope this was helpful. Again, I just wanted to do something spontaneous and fun, so I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.